I'm just wondering whether there's talk of the American Brahmins and the new Brahmin class, the way that some people are looking at this mobile system, it's got stuck, and that there's almost like a caste system being created. That there's people now that are so rich and and it's becoming the division's becoming too fixed, and this explains in some respects the kind of lurch to the right that Trump was kind of popularizing, this idea that there are these Brahmin classes based around universities and the plutocracy, if you like, where they're not moving, that there's no anxieties anymore. It's just that, and there's no way of getting into it. Is this something that works for you? Is that something that?
Well, part of the difficulty with Trump is that he's simultaneously putting two messages. He's against the Boston Brahmins of the intellectual kind. So he was anti-intellectual and he hated experts and he hated universities and so on, because he was aware that he didn't read books and he was uneducated and so on. And he was jealous and angry about this, as many people perhaps rightfully are. But on the other hand, he gave huge tax breaks to the very rich, and his friends were very rich. And he, above all, presented himself as someone who was a self-made millionaire, which of course was a complete lie. But basically, he was the model, and he loved people who had fulfilled that sort of American dream of becoming extremely, extremely rich. Mm. And so, on the one hand, he was against them and populist. On the other, he was supporting them. But it is a widely pointed out problem that late capitalism is facing, and it was one that Tawney and others, that there are mechanisms within them which there is a tendency, which seems to be very prevalent, which is, as the Bible put it, the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. And the divide, and in particular, the ameliorating influence of a big middle class, which in the middle of the ladder. Yes, this is my last answer.
Yes, we're nearly done.
And I'm being called to lunch. Basically, it allows people to move up. The hollowing out of the middle class in America, which we've seen, and to a certain extent here, means it's difficult to move up and down. And you get this very small group of international rich. You see them right across the globe. And then middling and down, but nothing, the upper middle class and are weakened by various processes. And if that continues, then the gap will become even bigger, though the insecurity will remain, because even if you are a Bill Gates or whoever it is, your children never know. I mean, the stories of the Gettys and the Rockefellers and so on show that you can be as rich as anything, but your children end up with disaster.